Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2024 VRC World Championships. This time, it's the 8-scale Nitro GT3 class. I'm Mike Garrison, here to bring you all your action. Looking at our A main grid right there, looking for the tone to sound. We are off and underway. Our top qualifier, Mirko Salemi, going to be leading us out here. This is a little bit wide right out of the gate there for Salemi. That's going to allow, I believe that's going to be Raistrick up on the number 2 spot here early on, lap number 1. A lot of racing left to go here for these drivers. A 20-minute race here. Oh, Mirko with a mistake right there. Salemi making a bobble there in lap number 1 early on. A little bit of a rough start for him, but he's still holding on to that number 1 spot. I believe that's going to be Gjemble up at the number 2 spot now here in this one. Gjemble taking over the number 1 spot here. Bardetta working his way up into 3rd. Everybody's still going to be right there together. You can see our top 7 drivers after qualifying. Mirko Salemi was your top qualifier. He put down the fastest times in qualifying sessions here on this very technical track. Oh, mistake right there. Check this out. Gjemble catches that inside curve, gets up on 2 wheels. That's enough right there to allow Salemi to go right back by. Salemi back up to the number 1 spot now. Gjemble dropping back to the number 2 spot. Jason Garcia now up into that 3 spot. Here's that battle for 1st and 2nd. Oh, Mirko getting up on the inside curve as well. Makes a little bobble there. Not going to be enough, though, to hand over the lead. Down the backstretch, they go through that chicane section. Wide open around the sweeper. Gjemble tries to dive to the inside, lose a bit of time there. Mirko trying to stretch it out here just a little bit in this one. A lot of racing left to go. Like I say, a 20-minute race here for these drivers. Got our pit stops to play into this one as well. Down the backstretch into that big sweeping corner. Back in the infield they go. Salemi, Gjemble, your top 2. Jason Garcia in the number 3 spot. Raistrick in the 4 spot. Andrew Bardetta in the number 5. Matt Reddick in the 6. Winfred Antonia in the 7 spot. Here's Raistrick in that number 3 spot in the orange car, white wheels. He heads on to the right-hand side, chasing down Jason Garcia right now. Jason Garcia qualified 9th on the grid, and he is all the way up to 3rd. Fantastic start for Jason Garcia, that's for sure, as he works his way through the chicane down the backstretch as well. He's going to be about 2 seconds back from your top 2 drivers. Just as I say that, there is Reddick, Matt Reddick in the number 5 spot. He qualified 2nd. So the opposite for him, a bit of a rough start here in this one, but like I say, a lot of racing left to go for a 20-minute race. Matt Reddick, big mistake right there for Reddick coming onto the backstretch in the chicane. What a save for him right there. Does not need a corner marshal. However, that's going to drop him back. He's got more catching up to do now. Mirko Salemi still going to be out front here. We're taking a look at Jason Garcia, 0.3 of a second back from Gjemble. Gjemble in the number 2 spot in the pink car. You see Raistrick hiding in the shadows back behind Garcia. Here's your race leader, Mirko Salemi out front with a 2.2 second lead over Gjemble in 2nd. As we were talking about Matt Reddick, he was your 2nd place qualifier after all of our qualifying sessions. And look at this here, Gjemble with a 15.9 that time by, 15.914. That's going to be his personal best right there. Andrew Bardetta in the number 5 spot, 0.7 of a second back from Raistrick. As we head into the chase cam here down the backstretch, awesome view here of the race course. Comes back around through the infield. In the yellow and white machine here, Andrew Bardetta, qualified 8th, sitting in 5th right now. 3 minutes, 15 seconds into this race. Back around, watch this back straight. Through the chicane, they go into the big sweeping corners. You can see closing the gap up now, just a bit on Raistrick. That last time by for Bardetta, he must have known the camera was on at a 16.220. That's going to be his personal best lap so far here in this race. Once again, you're there. You see him closing the gap up just a bit on Raistrick here in this one. Just ahead of him. Good battle right now for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. All going to be right there together. That time by a 16.334. So consistent laps here for Bardetta. 16.3, 16.2, 16.5. There's a 16.4 once again for Bardetta. There you see Raistrick not that far ahead of him. But I tell you what, he's got to keep an eye out right now as Matt Reddick not that far back from him. Mirko Salemi, meanwhile, out front, leading the way here in this one. Coming back through the infield once again. 4:10 into this one. Salemi back around to the front side. Under the bridge he goes. A unique race course here. A lot of different line options. These guys making their way around the track, make it look easy. And I tell you, from personal experience, this is a difficult course to get the hang of, especially that back straightaway chicane. Those guys are flying through there trying to make a straight line out of it. Salemi, as you can see, working his way around here. Here's that chicane. Onto the backstretch he goes. Into the big bank sweeper on the right-hand side. Gjemble still in the number 2 spot here. Garcia in 3rd. Raistrick in 4th. Bardetta in the number 5 spot. Garcia, Reddick, and Antonia Take a look here, some slow motion action here of Salemi. Whoa, wow. He got so close to pit lane wall right there. Salemi pushing the edges right there, looking for tenths of a second anywhere he can find him on this racetrack. 5 minutes into this one, we're going to start seeing some pit stops here before too long in this 20-minute race. Your top qualifier down the backstretch. Once again, he's coming up on some lap traffic here. Gjemble in the number 2 spot, Raistrick in the 3 spot, Bardetta in the 4, Reddick, Garcia, and Antonia. In for Antonia in that number 7 spot. And there you see Mirko Salemi in for his first pit stop of this race. This will not be his last pit stop. In and out under the bridge. A good pit stop for him there. Nice and clean in and out. Taking a time shift here into this one. 9:15 into the race. Graham Raistrick is who we're following right now. In the number 3 spot, Graham personal best, a 16.254. He just clicked off another 16.292 right there. So Raistrick, as the race has gone on, is picking up the pace in this one. He's going to be 1.9 seconds back from Gjemble in the number 2 spot. Here's Andrew Bardetta in the 5th place spot. Reddick just ahead of him. Reddick is only 0.5 of a second back from Raistrick here. Bardetta in the yellow and white. Here's Mirko Salemi, our race leader, once again. His fast lap of the race, a 15.768. Incredible. Mirko Salemi, he's got this car figured out, the track figured out, he's feeling comfortable. And oh, I just started to say a near flawless race, and we just saw what happened. And then look at those lap times there. Boom, 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 boom. 15 after 15 after 15. Consistency. Not only is he fast, he's consistent. Salemi's going to be hard to beat in this one. Just past the halfway mark here in this 20-minute race as we're at the 10:15 mark. Here he comes in for fuel. Mirko Salemi right now with an 11-second lead on Gjemble in the number 2 spot. Here's Graham Raistrick in that number 3 spot. 3.3 seconds out of second place. Let's see if Graham makes a pit stop this time by, and he does. Oh, a little mistake there for Graham coming into pit lane. He is in and on the wall, and he's out. Good pit stop there for Graham Raistrick. Gjemble in the number 2 spot. There's Gjemble in that pink car, pink wheels. So Gjemble was in pit lane as well. That time by with a 24.5. His fast lap is a 15.8. So only a tenth of a second for single fast lap. Gjemble is off of Salemi, the race leader. However, the difference there is Salemi 15.7, 15.8, time and time and time again. Gjemble clicking off a 15.8, followed by 16.1 and a 16.5. Little tenths of a second, they all add up. There is Reddick right there, Matt Reddick, mixing it up there with Gjemble just a bit as Gjemble heads down the back stretch on the right-hand side. Back through the infield once again. Jason Garcia now in the number 5 spot. Here is Reddick. Yellow and black, pink wheels. Back around the left-hand side. His personal best on lap 33, a 16.032. So Matt Reddick starting to turn up the heat as well. Again, we saw Matt Reddick in qualifying. He qualified second overall, started second on the grid. He's sitting 6th right now in this race. 7 seconds back out of the top 5 spot here. Little work for him to do. 11:45 into this one. Andy Bardetta. Under the bridge he goes. Back onto the left-hand side. Bardetta trying to close the gap up on Graham Raistrick. These two drivers have been back and forth on time this entire race so far here in this one. 12 minutes into this race now. Salemi, Gjemble, Raistrick, Bardetta, Garcia, Reddick, and Antonia. Your running order here. Mirko Salemi. Last time by the line a 16.1. Time before that a 15.8. Salemi back onto the bridge, back on the left-hand side. He has got almost a full lap here on the field. 12.2 seconds to be exact on Gjemble in second. Raistrick going to be 5 seconds back from him in third. Here comes Salemi back through the infield. Look at those lap times there. 15.7. Once again right there. 15.778 last time by for the number 3 car. Your top qualifier of Salemi. He deserves that number 1 right now as he started out front in this one. Has led every single lap, or 46 laps into this race. He has led every single lap of this race so far, and this one is winding down as we are at the 12:55 mark. 20-minute race here. Oh, trouble there for some. I believe that might have been Gjemble. As we take a time shift into this one here, we are now at the 15:30 mark. Here comes Salemi in. This should be his final pit stop. Mirko Salemi up and on the wall. He is in and out. Gjemble still in the number 2 spot. Raistrick in the 3. Reddick, Bardetta, Garcia, and Antonia. Salemi working his way back into the infield section here with the pit stop, a 24.0. So still a phenomenal lap there even with the pit stop. Back around roughly for him. A 9 to 10 second pit stop there for Mirko Salemi. Gjemble in the number 2 spot. Raistrick in the 3 spot. Raistrick, Bardetta, Garcia, and Antonia. Still your running order here in this one. 15-9 that time by. A little less than 4 minutes to go here in this race. Salemi out front here. Raistrick in the number 2 spot. Raistrick is only 1.2 seconds ahead of Gjemble now. Matt Reddick in the number 4 spot. Andrew Bardetta 0.8 of a second back from him in the 5 spot. 15-7-2-8, ladies and gentlemen. 59 laps into this race. 59 laps. Mirko Salemi has just turned his personal best, and I do believe that is the fastest we have seen here in this main event of any driver on the racetrack right now. 59 laps in. It's like a fine wine. As time goes on, it gets better and better. Matt Reddick in that number 6 spot here. Once again, your second place qualifier. He is trying to play catch up. He is 6.1 seconds back from Jason Garcia in the number 5 spot. Reddick on the backside. He goes through the chicane, down the backstretch now. 15.998. What is going on? Matt Reddick turning up the heat on lap number 60. His personal best with a 15.998. Whoa! Big trouble there for Andrew Bardetta. What happens here? Catches the curve. Back into that car, comes up, he goes end over end into the wall and spins it out. I believe he was able to save it without a corner marshal. However, that could have been a catastrophic wreck right there. Definitely lost some time. Bardetta now going to be dropping back here from Jason Garcia in the number 4 spot. Graham Raistrick has moved his way up to the number 2 spot. Here is Gjemble. We saw him run the whole first half of this race in the number 2 spot with Graham Raistrick chasing him. They have flip-flops his positions now as Gjemble's in the 3 spot. Raistrick in the number 2 spot. Gjemble last time by the line with a 16.1. Had a little bit of a rough lap a few laps ago there with a 17.3 and a 19.3. 18 minutes into this one. 20-minute race here as Gjemble. Down the backstretch he goes onto the right-hand side. Coming back into the infield here. Gjemble going to be 4.9 seconds back from Graham Raistrick. Still in the top 3 position here as this race is winding down. I believe, do not quote me on this, I believe this would be Gjemble's first top 3 finish in the VRC Pro World Championship if he can hold on to it right there. This driver right there, though, as we took a quick look there at Graham Raistrick, he's no stranger to the VRC World Championship. And definitely no stranger to running up front as he's in the number 2 spot. Mirko Salemi, though, has checked out here in this one. 18:40 in. A minute 20 left to go here in this one. You can see Gjemble pushing it hard right now, just whipping the car everywhere that he can, trying to gain every little bit of time on Raistrick. Gjemble down the backstretch. Raistrick coming through the infield right now. 3.8 seconds separate him right now. Check this out. Slow motion action. Watch Gjemble right here just pitching the rear end of the car. Oh, catches the inside curve. What a save right there. 50 seconds to go. 19:10 in. Graham Raistrick with 3.3 seconds on him. I tell you what, it's going to take a mistake from Graham in order for Gjemble to take over that number 2 spot. But we jump to our leader now with only 45 seconds to go. Mirko Salemi, your top qualifier, has led this race from start, looking to finish it out here for a world championship win. Ooh, what a close call right there in the slow motion replay. We saw him catch that inside curve. He's gone this far without any mistakes. Can he finish this one out? Salemi headed down the backstretch once again, getting up on the curb just a bit. Hang on to it, Mirko. Back onto the right-hand side here. 15 seconds left on the race clock. Comes back around to the front side. He may get one more after this one. A little slow-mo here as he comes through the end. Oh, catches another curb as he goes under the bridge. Back around on the right-hand side. This is going to be his final lap right here. He is on a victory lap coming through the infield here. Ladies and gentlemen, 73 laps from start to finish. Coming around for number 74, your world champion, Mirko Salemi with the win. Coming around in the number 2 spot, going to be Graham Raistrick. Gjemble rounding out your top 3, followed by Bardetta and Garcia. Congratulations to Mirko Salemi from Italy, 2024 VRC World Champion.